Welcome back to The Reset. I am Shaun Tucker, human performance scientist and authority architect. We are here in the living lab documenting the science, the struggle, and the shift for every high-performance dad and founder who's ready to bridge the gap between their ambition and their presence. 8 hours sleep and you're still exhausted? It's not a sleep problem. But before we get into that, please go ahead into the show notes and give us a rating on Apple Podcasts, on Deezer, or any platform that you are listening to this podcast. Please subscribe and give us a rating because it helps get in front of the man who needs to hear the message today. So, into the content. Let's go. You're getting 8 hours of sleep and you're waking up feeling tired or exhausted. This is not a sleep problem. This is a rest problem. Hear me out. Quality rest over quantity rest, quality will always win. Do you know why? Because if you're not resting during sleep, during wake time, you're not optimizing for performance, for recovery, for presence, for anything actually. Because what's happening beneath the surface, you've got a larger problem on your hands. And that is learning how to rest during the day, but also learning how to rest at night. And once you learn this skill, once you learn how to follow the protocols that I use and that I teach my clients to use, I promise you, you'll find it easier to get quality rest and you won't need as much quantity of rest. So let's get into it. The first thing I do when I ask someone about what are they doing before in the few hours before they go to bed, I ask them do you snack? Do you snack late at night? If you snack late at night, your body's going to have a hard time slipping into that deeper rest because your body is busy digesting the food that you're still eating, especially if it's high processed snacks. If it's real food, on the other hand, it's going to be a little bit easier, but still not optimal. So leaving a bit of a gap between your sleep and your last meal, that's really step number one. Have a little bit of a structure when it comes to your wind down protocol. When it comes to timing, before you head to bed, at least a couple of hours or 3-4 hours is actually ideal. Don't have any food. Don't ingest any more food because it will delay your ability to get into deep rest. If your body's working hard to digest, it's not going to really slip into deep rest because all that energy is going towards your stomach, not settling and re-energizing your body. So that's step number one. Step number two, this one is a little bit more practical. Because I don't want to teach you things that you don't have to go and, these things you don't have to go and buy to use. I'm not going to recommend you any supplements. I'm not going to recommend you any nasal strips. Those are all 1% enhancers that will get you a little bit further. What I would love to teach you is these simple protocols that'll help get you into deep rest. You can use them throughout the day. You can use them on a daily basis and they don't cost you anything. They do cost you a little bit of awareness and I suppose you can call it discipline. But most importantly, it's consistency. Because if you care about results, and you care about having energy, you care about waking up full of beans, these are the protocols that you should follow. So number two is looking at winding down using your breath as a vehicle to kind of settle you into a more parasympathetic state. Parasympathetic just means more rested state. Because there's really two states. There's sympathetic and parasympathetic. When you're in a sympathetic state, stress is high. It's adrenaline and cortisol are kicked up, and you're probably very hyper aware and into that kind of survival mechanism. So it doesn't matter if it's coming from a mental stress or a physical stress or an alert, basically. The parasympathetic state, this is your rest and digest. So yeah, if you're eating, you want to make sure you're in that rest and digest phase. Because if you're in a sympathetic nervous system state and you're eating, you probably find that your body kind of rejects the food. When you're in a more ease, relaxed state, you'll probably find your body accepts and receives the food better. But a simple tool you can use before mealtime, before sleep, or if you want to feel more relaxed throughout the day, is extend your exhale breath. So just inhale through the nose, and then exhale. You can exhale from the mouth or from the nose. Try and extend that exhale breath to be about 2 times longer than your inhale breath. Because what that is doing is it's signaling to your nervous system, it's okay to wind down. It's okay to slip into more of a rested state. That's step number 2. So really extend those exhales. Make them twice as long as your inhales. Step number 3, this one is relatively simple. It's almost like using affirmations, but not really. And that is the mantra that I've talked about in a podcast recently, and that is, I'm not the body. I'm not the mind. You are the awareness of both of those and all of those things. But if you start using that affirmation and you use it on an inhale breath and an exhale breath, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not. What it does is it starts to create a bit of space between your body and your mind and what you are. Because if you slip into that awareness state and you do fall asleep, that's actually where your dreams occur as well, by the way. But you'll notice that your body and your mind start to replenish their energy much more quickly and more effectively. Whereas if you go into this really heavy sleep, and you've probably been there before if you've taken any drugs or alcohol, and you kind of go to sleep and you're not really sleeping. It's just heavy, and you might wake up, you got dry mouth. It's a terrible way to sleep. That effectively is not great. Because even if you did get 8-9 hours or more, it's like your body wasn't really resting. It fell asleep, but you weren't really resting. And so you don't wake up full of energy. So we don't want to encourage that. What we do want to encourage is accessing deeper restful states. So using that mantra or using that affirmation, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, just repeating it, slowing down the words as you say them, noticing your breathing slowing down, and just drift off to sleep. That's really it. I mean, I could get into more nuanced things like don't have strong blue light signals throughout the night. Ideally, don't even have your phone in the room that you're sleeping in. All right, all these little things are 1% game changers. But something else is hydration is a really important factor too. I've noticed that as I've started training more, I'm turning over more fluids through my body. So needing more water, but also needing more salt in my water. And just noticing that even last night I woke up, I went to the toilet once throughout the night. I don't usually do that. And I noticed that it was a little bit more dehydrated than normal. So the color of the urine was a little bit more yellow. So I guess part number 4 is just paying more attention. Notice your patterns throughout the day. Notice what you've had on during the day. Notice what time you went to bed. Notice what time you woke up. Keeping track of them is great, But even just practice the first part of just being simply aware. You don't have to track and measure everything. You can. Of course, if you are a bit of a data nerd, you'll love that. But if not, it's not necessary. To start paying attention with your awareness, how you're feeling, and really what time did you wake up? Because you should be able to remember what time you woke up today or what time you went to bed last night. If that's even a struggle, you got a bigger problem on your hands. Okay. And it's not the end of the world. It's just understanding where you're at. You're probably leading a very highly compulsive life and that you might need a little bit more support. And if you do need more support, I would love to see if I can help you. So please make sure you reach out to me. You can find me on most social media platforms and the one you're obviously listening to. Please reach out. I'd love to see if I can help you. I guess that brings us to the end of the episode of The Reset. So if you did find this helpful, make sure you rate it on the podcast platform that you're listening to, or if you're watching it on YouTube, please leave a comment, please subscribe to the channel. And yeah, if you're wanting to stop being a passenger in your own life and want to start being the architect of your legacy, make sure you scroll into the show notes and you'll find a link that says 7-Day Nervous System Reset. This helps you build the man from the ground up and on your terms. So if you don't play, look, it's basically an email series that is designed for you to be involved, and you've got to actually reply to the email once you've finished. It'll then send the next one. So it's a 7-day way to reset yourself, your nervous system, and really rebuild the man from the ground up. Really great protocols, stuff that I use and I've used with my clients in the past. So I hope you get a lot of value from that. But I guess, yeah, that brings us to the end. So remember that most people wait for their life to change. We are the ones who architect our choices. Change your state. Choose how you show up. I am Shaun Tucker. I will see you in the next one.